name is Edith Thunder.
Do you have an Anishinaabe name?
Yes, Kshimadasam.
And what does that mean?
It means 1,000. It's interesting.
It is.
Mhm.
When were you born?
I was born on August 25, 1963.
Where were you born?
Sulakaut at the old zone hospital.
Me too. What was your childhood like?
My childhood was interesting. My grandparents raised me on the trap line north of Bearskin. And a lot of times we were not in school, even though there was a school in Bearskin. We would be out on the trap line for maybe 2 months in the late fall, and then again in the spring about 2 months. So I didn't always go to school all year. But I really learned a lot at school, and I really learned a lot on the land. I loved my childhood.
So you were on the trap line, so what did you guys eat?
We ate beaver and moose meat, fish. The treat we would have would be tea porridge, or a different kind of porridge. They would put flour into the tea. That was a treat. I can't make it that way anymore. So it was all traditional food. I don't remember anything from the store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe, well, the flour, I guess, and oats would be from the store, but there was no store.
Yeah.
Just bush.
So who prepared the meals in your family?
Mostly my grandmother and my aunt. We always had one aunt with us. My mom was never around, so maybe that's a bad part of my childhood. But mostly I was happy, right? Yeah. So mostly it was my grandmother and my aunt that prepared food.
Did you ever learn to prepare any of the food with them?
I had to learn all of that,
Oh yeah.
and mostly by observing. Yeah.
So did you go to residential school?
No, I didn't. I was spared. I think my grandparents took us to the bush at those times when we could have been grabbed, because we were in the bush a lot. And they'd already lost my mom and my other aunts, my uncle, to residential school. So they saved 4 of us from residential school.
So you said there was a school in Bearskin, right?
Yeah, there was a school.
And did you attend it?
I did. I remember starting school when I was really small. And I remember my teachers, and I still keep in touch with my teacher. She lives in Sulakaut. Her name is Ivka Filipovic. You probably know her.
I do know.
I still play Scrabble with her online, and I beat her all the time. In the language she taught me.
So what else can you tell me about your trap line? So like, was there any like activities other than like trapping that you guys did?
The earliest memories I have of going to the trap line was going by dog sled. My grandfather always had dogs, so we would get packed into these homemade sleds. We'd be packed in there with all our food and blankets and clothing. But later on, this would probably be when I was 2-3 years old, we were packed in the dog sleds. But by the time I was, say, 5-6 years old, they had those little Cessna planes, so they would fly us to the trap line, and it used to seem like forever because we'd be in the plane with our dogs, maybe some gas, and we'd be puking. But it's interesting. When I went to teach in Bearskin a few years ago, I thought, okay, I'm going to take a trip back to the trap line, and we took off. Junior, the guy who flies the plane in Bearskin, we took off from the airport on his 185 Cessna. It was like a 10-minute ride over to the trap. The trip that used to seem like forever. It was a short ride. Yeah. So that's what I remember about the trap line. But we had a log cabin. And that's where we would all sleep.
Did your grandparents build the log cabin?
Yeah, my grandfather did. And it had an interesting one window. And he'd found an old plane wreck somewhere between Bearskin and Trapline, and he saw was one of the windows, and that was our window for the cabin. And there was no floor as we know it. Every week we changed the spruce boughs, and that was our carpeting. It was beautiful. different lifestyle for sure. So wonderful memories.
So what did you do for fun?
For fun, like Kaylee, when we were watching the interview, she automatically started talking about snaring and cutting wood. That was pretty much our life. Like there was really no, like just other activity that took you away from the family activities. All activities were for the family, with the family, so it was always about work, and we didn't see it as work. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to snare a rabbit, we had to cut wood, we had to go get the fresh boughs and all that, you know.
What's your earliest memory of Muskrat?
My earliest memory of Muskrat would have to be when we did visit before we moved here. And I can't remember if we came by boat like everybody else or by plane. But my earliest memory it was probably by boat because we came visiting and there was Roderick, Moses, late great grandma, and then he just sat down the lake. That's my earliest memory. They're greeting us and going up all happy and they're feeding us. So that was my earliest memory. It must have been by boat.
So thank you for the interview. It was
You're
really
welcome.
informative, actually. I really liked it.
You're welcome. I love talking about the past. I always talk to my students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.